All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you had a wonderful day. I got good news and bad news for you, and it revolves around the catalyst vacuum. Now, I'll explain what that is, but the bad news is that everything I'm about to tell you is bad. There's nothing good that comes out of this except for the good news, which is that you'll know about it. So now that you know, that's good. That's the way that I rationalized it. But let's start from the top here. You have about 4 days or 3 days now left in the worst 10-day stretch of the market. The last 10 days of September, always the worst, and we're watching that kind of play out a little bit here. So that's the first part we're starting with. But then this is where I start to rain on the parade. You know, all of the data this week, the PCE, it's not going to mean anything. And that is actually word on the street. What a lot of people are saying is that really until the middle of October, even the debt ceiling, nothing else matters. They're saying that is when we get real new data that will drive things. And in the meantime, if the bonds keep doing what they're doing, or even without it, the market may just continue as we end the month and then get into October. So I'm going to explain this catalyst vacuum. We will talk about it and what we need to look out for. I have one little update on today. I got a quick little recap because there was a lot of action, but it really was a big day, and I wouldn't blame it on the data or really any event. It kind of just looks like globally what we got with bonds. Even after hours, dollar looks a little crazy. I don't know if that's real, so we'll find out, but it seems to be the rates and the currencies and all of this kind of slowly adding pressure. We're watching that play out here. So we got a fun video. We're going to talk about a lot. I got the plays too. What I need from you, a thumbs up on the video. Make sure you're subscribed. And if you don't know, we are live Monday through Friday, 30 minutes before open, youtube.com/the stock market. Every single morning, 7 hours a day of news, anything else you need. We'll see you there, baby. I God bless you. I hope I see you there, but run it.
Walking to the couch, it's the 2020 last. Live in the hills, but I still get a spread. Started with a live, but I still reinvest it. Feel how I feel, then you feel like a blessing. I just want the lesson, I just want protection. I'm up and I'm down, but the sound like progression. Farmer never plans if he waits for perfection. Finger to the down.
So right off the bat, we got to go back to the calendar, and we were going over this at the beginning of the week, and I was telling you how we got to watch if there is a reaction on bonds. The yields are at a breakout level. We got to pay attention to oil, the dollar. All of these things are important. And now this is what I'm here to tell you on this video. They are more important than the calendar, and that is what this whole entire catalyst vacuum is talking about. And it's saying there's no meaningful data up until the middle of October, and there's other things that will probably move with it, whether it has a headline or not. Those are the things that are going to drive it. And sadly, this data, it is not going to do much. Like I said, watch overseas. What we learned the last couple weeks, I think it may show true here. Europe will probably be more important. And I would take cues from European and Asian markets, depending on how we are, especially pre-market. But if you go through here, watch those events. Tomorrow's durable goods will be key, but it's not that key. Again, I use the word key, but hopefully you see what I'm saying here. But let's get to the main thing, man. It has to do with PCE. That's what everybody cares about. Again, all of this stuff on the calendar. I would pay attention to the Europe stuff, but go to the PCE. This is what I want to show you. I want you to look at the reference number. The PCE is for August. And why does that matter? Because if you go to the CPI, you have already got your August number. Same thing for the PPI. Essentially, the PCE is coming in later. So this is part of that catalyst vacuum where people are downgrading their expectations for PCE because we kind of already know the data based on what it is. It's not going to be something new. It is part of the last reference, so therefore we want new data to respond to. We are more worried about the future than kind of what has already happened. I know that should open a lot of questions for you, but at the end of the day, that's why people are saying we don't really have catalysts coming up. That's why they're saying the vacuum, the market is kind of pulling and moving, and things will pull, but it's not as if the catalyst and the economic calendar really is going to move things until we start getting bigger data. But you will have Jerome Powell on Thursday. That's something on the calendar. I think I scrolled by it. That was the only other important thing. Fed Chair Powell. It will be big. if he says something new. But why are people saying the catalyst vacuum is going to make sure he doesn't? Because he just spoke. They're saying we just heard from him. He's not going to message anything different. He already had the chance before at Jackson Hole at the meeting. Why would he say anything new now? That's why they're saying there's not really any catalyst this week. And then finally, the other thing we talked about, people are saying, well, why would we pay attention to this when we want new data? And the thing that starts around mid-October, not only is it the CPI and then the Fed, you also get the start of the next earnings season. So they're saying with the buyback window and everything, up until we get there, that is where things will start to get really, really active. So keep all of this in mind. Welcome to the catalyst vacuum. Do I agree with it? A little bit. I would say I'm probably, actually a majority. I'd say I'm leaning like 70% towards it, but my take on this is that I do think that the S&P is going to have all of the market is going to have a tough time coming into the final days. We've talked about this a lot in the past, how like those last few days of the market will make it up. Remember, August was really bad, but just a couple days, it ended up not looking that bad with how things played out. Same thing here. It's not like September was totally awful, but you could give that all up in the final week. So I'm thinking the next 5 days will be bad, but there is a lot of positive October seasonality. So it's really a question about how much lower we go in these next couple of days until seasonality kicks in. But I don't know if any of the data will save us, or the thing we really need is for bonds, oil, or the dollar to calm down. Otherwise, I could see where things could get pulled by a vacuum-esque beat. I don't know what to call it, but I hope that helps. I hope you guys are prepared. Does not mean tomorrow will be a dud. Every day is surprising. A lot could happen, but now let us get into the play. So, right off the bat, I got one play for you. I have a couple I could probably go over, but maybe we'll talk about two, but it's one play. It's the one thing we've been talking about. Bonds, dollar, oil. If anything, I've been watching these a lot more. I made another play on the bonds. Remember, I told you I don't want to hold overnight. I ended up not getting an opportunity to sell out during the 2K stream, but it gapped up in the morning and I sold out at like 5 a.m. my time, Pacific. So a little earlier, like an hour and a half before the bell, it had some gains. I was awake. I said, well, we won't have to hold it into the market. Then it dropped. And then around the data, I made a double dip and I pretty much got in at the same price. You know, this was how I made money off of it yesterday. I got in at the same price. Then it went down, so I'm holding that down 500. I'm hoping either get out tonight or I will get out in the morning, and then we'll see. But here's my logic with it. One, I have been saying how, yeah, equities, I think they're in their own world, but I think now with the bonds and what they're doing, even moves started to wake up a little bit, but it has been a little bit easier in bond land to kind of understand what's going on, or at the very least, the moves aren't as surprising. Like today, it was a straight down event, but even with the bonds, it's kind of more gradual. And realistically, the one big thing I've been talking about here is that they've just gotten killed over these last 2 days, and usually when the bonds get killed, they kind of hit a level, bounce back, and then it'll do its thing. So that's why I'm not really too afraid to go for the upside, but I'm looking for flips on these. And a lot of people are asking, am I trying to buy TLT? I'm even showing TLT here because I am trading /ZB. It is pretty much the same thing. So this is literally what I am going in on, /ZB. So it looks different, but it's kind of like TLT. The only difference is it's how you price it. These little commas and dashes, it's like every 0.31. That's like the basis points there. So like 0.33. It's kind of what you're looking at here, giving you the full value of the bond. So just pricing, but same sort of structure. It goes down, same thing, so on and so forth. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Going to be watching that. But now play number 2 and 3. Watch the dollar. And how do you play that? You can either go short on other currencies. That's usually the best bet. We have been talking about the euro and pound lately, and maybe that may be one of the moves. I'm kind of thinking here, if I'm holding that Japanese yen play, because I like it because it's usually strong like the dollar is right now, and I do believe eventually it will be very strong. But what I could do now to kind of even play that and play some of the dollar strength, maybe short the pound or euro. I have not decided on that, but with everything we've been talking, I think it may be time to start looking at it a little bit. So going to be watching that. And then finally, oil. I'm a little worried because it's already high a little bit here. And again, this has been the theme of everything, but I was looking at the MCLs, just like kind of intraday, not holding overnight, depending on the catalyst or how it's responding to the market. This one could be a good one to day trade, especially especially if we see this take over with a lack of catalyst. So that's all I'm going to be watching. Besides that, I did make a play. I made Costco. I grabbed a Costco put. I grabbed a 535 or a 530, I believe. This one here, I grabbed this one for 180 on the weekly, and I did think Costco could go down just because a lot of the consumer stuff, but it wasn't really about that as much. I just decided to go with the put play because it met the criteria. We were looking at it. It was pricing in 3.5%. If you did the at the money calculation, the stock was at like 552. At the time, it was like $16. You double that up, that's $32, 2 times the expected move. I went to the calls and puts, and I guess from 550, it was like a 520 put or something. This thing was going for like 80 cents or 90 cents when I saw it. I thought that was a pretty good deal. Beginning of the week, you could play the downside. If anybody wants to panic over the consumer, it was a cheaper play, but I was going to grab 2 of them for $80, but I said, well, if I'm going to spend 160, 180, might as well get closer to the money, and then I grabbed this one at like 180 there. The bid was a little bit weird, but holding that, we'll see where it's at tomorrow. Throw a little option in there, mix it up a little bit, just in case, but I don't know how I feel about it. I just will have to see with how the market takes it, but that's a downside play. But that's all I did. Don't think I have anything else. I will be live on 2K on the Twitch. And besides that, I think it's easy peasy. It's easy peasy. And that is your watch list, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure hydrate healthy, ready to go. Make sure post your watch list. Make sure we see you there in the morning. I need the armor on. I need the helmet shining. And I need you to remember, it's easy to focus on pain, but at the same time, baby, I need you to also focus on the good all the time. You know that? You know, sometimes you may hear pain. Not everybody go through the pain. And what does that mean? It's an opportunity to always move sound, move safe, be smart. Make sure you are always operating on a high level. But remember, even if good things happen, human nature likes to focus on the pain, baby. So that's it. Let's go. Be wise. Don't worry about the weeds. Worry about the seed, baby. And let's go. Bring it into the end of the year. And that's it. That's your watch list. I'm not even awkward. I said easy peasy. Yeah, if I didn't forget, I said easy peasy, bro. That's already awkward enough, bro. I see. I'm going to see you on. I see my ball, bro. Stop it. They thought I sucked at 2K. Come on. How you gonna let me? I'll tell you. We could talk to me about the euro, please. I'll be begging me about a talk to me while we play in 2K about a dollar weighted average of the nominal indexes. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't know how. Horn.